Brown. Tatum leads Celtics to third biggest win. Knicks All-Star guard Jalen Brunson bruises left knee. U.S. advances to Gold Cup semis with win over Colombia. Today is Monday, March 4th, 2024, and this is the Dunkley Report, Sports News. Jaylen Brown scored 29 points. Jayson Tatum had 27 on his 26th birthday, and the NBA-best Boston Celtics posted their third-largest winning margin in franchise history, drubbing the weary Golden State Warriors 140-88. Boston set an NBA record with its third win this season by 50 points or more. Payton Pritchard added 19 points for Boston, which extended its season-best winning streak to 11 games. Stephen Curry didn't play the second half and finished with a season-low 4 points for Golden State. He missed all 9 of his three-point attempts. The Celtics led by a franchise record 44 points at halftime. New York All-Star guard Jalen Brunson suffered a bruised knee in the opening minute of Sunday's game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But after seeing Brunson go down, the Knicks recovered and posted a 107-98 win that showcased their toughness and togetherness. Brunson, who averages 27.2 points per game, was hurt while attempting a jump shot in the first minute. Following the game, Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau said, X-rays on Brunson's knee were negative. The Knicks are already missing 3 starters, including forward Julius Randle, who has been making progress from a shoulder injury. It's not yet known if Brunson will miss any time. The Knicks host Atlanta on Tuesday. The U.S. national team rebounded from its loss to Mexico with a 3-0 victory over Colombia to advance to the semifinals of the CONCACAF Women's Gold Cup. Jenna Neiswanger and Jaden Shaw scored, and Lindsey Horan converted a penalty for the Americans, all in the first half. The U.S. was back in dominant form against an impressive Colombian team that reached the quarterfinals of last year's World Cup. The U.S. will face Canada in the Gold Cup semifinals in San Diego. Toss. Kyle Larson won his second consecutive race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on Sunday to keep Chevrolet undefeated and give Hendrick Motorsports its second victory in the first 3 NASCAR Cup Series races of the season. Larson won for the third time in his career at Las Vegas, where in 2021 he got his first win driving for Hendrick following a nearly year-long suspension in 2020. Larson also won in the number 5 Chevy at Las Vegas last October in the playoffs. Larson held off Tyler Reddick for his 24th career Cup victory. Chevrolet also has wins this year by Larson teammate William Byron in the Daytona 500 and Daniel Suarez last week at Atlanta for Trackhouse Racing. Austin Eckroat left PGA National with a share of the lead on Saturday. He left with the outright lead on Sunday. He'll have to come back Monday to finish the job. A Monday finish awaits at PGA National after the final round of the opening event on the PGA Tour's Florida swing was interrupted by thunderstorms that brought nearly 2 inches of rain in a hurry Sunday afternoon and forced everyone off the course for 3 hours. Eckroat is the leader at 15 under through 7 holes, 1 shot ahead of Eric Van Rooyen. Christian Horner said midway through the Red Bull internal investigation that it was business as normal for the Formula One team and star of Drive to Survive. And he wasn't kidding. Horner, in 1 race weekend alone, gave Netflix an entire season of material in what could be the performance of his lifetime. Cleared by Red Bull last week on allegations of misconduct levied against him by a team employee, he moved on to the season-opening race in Bahrain, where the team went 1-2. Camila Cardoso had 18 points and 14 rebounds. Tahina Pau scored 14 points, and number 1 South Carolina completed its second straight perfect regular season with a 76-68 victory over Tennessee. Cardoso and Pau Pau are both seniors, and they excelled on senior day in the final game of the regular season. The Gamecocks won their 47th straight regular season SEC game, their 57th straight at home, and their 6th in a row over Tennessee. Rickea Jackson led the Lady Vols with 29 points. With Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman, the Los Angeles Dodgers have quite the trio at the top of their batting order. That's a tough start for any pitcher. Betts and Ohtani each had 3 hits, and Freeman drove in 2 runs during their spring training game against the Colorado Rockies in Glendale, Arizona. Betts is 7 for 17 so far this spring, and Ohtani is 5 for 7 in limited action. Chris Sale also is looking pretty good in his first spring training with the Atlanta Braves. The lanky left-hander struck out 5 in 2-2-3 scoreless innings in Atlanta's 3-2 win over Philadelphia and Florida. Joe Alt had the perfect role model growing up in Minnesota. He became a big-time recruit, played in a big-time football program, and made a seamless transition from tight end to left tackle, just like his father John. The younger Alt is now hoping to become a first-round draft pick like his father. Alt is one of a dozen players at the NFL annual scouting combine who had fathers play pro football. They all share the stories and expectations their surnames raise, but each wants to carve out his own path to the pros. Phil Foden has led Manchester City's fightback after an astonishing miss by Erling Haaland for a 3-1 win over Manchester United in a one-sided derby that exposed the gulf between the two Premier League rivals. City trailed 1-0 at halftime after Marcus Rashford's rasping long-range strike in the 8th minute and a glaring miss from the prolific Haaland from barely 2 meters out. Foden succeeded where Haaland earlier failed by smashing in a rising drive for the equalizer in the 56th and then sweeping in. A low shot in the 80th minute off Julian Alvarez's inside pass. There was still time for Haaland to atone for his mistake with City's third in stoppage time. Thank you for joining us here at the Dunkley Report Sports News. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest breaking stories.